appreciate you joining us on this Derby Saturday. And as this game gets ready to go, and we're off. Wagner delivery home, bunt shown, pulled back, but it'll be a strike on Devin Taylor to start this game off 0-1.
Yeah, and Taylor, as we mentioned in the open, 2 for 4 yesterday, 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Going to need to get going here early on for the Hoosiers. Going to need runners on base. Struggled yesterday, only 8 hits spread over 9 innings.
Watches that one go by. Fouled off from Wagner's offering to Taylor. It brings it to 1-2. And when I was talking with the Indiana radio broadcast, they were talking about how Devin Taylor is so good lefty-lefty. Over 100 points of batting average, improved when he's facing the left-handers, which is a little bit absurd.
And he struggled a little bit with it yesterday against the lefty starter Morales.
As he strokes that one out into right center field, on the way over is Spence, and he extends the glove and brings it in. So Keenan Spence hauls in the first out of the inning.
And Keenan Spence does a nice job on his horse there down the backstretch, able to trek that one down. Has to go a long ways, but the long reach of the right fielder able to corral that one for out number 1.
So that'll now bring up Josh Pine, a very good hitter, had a couple of doubles yesterday. As he takes a called strike 1, breaking on the inside corner.
Well, and we talked about it. The Boilermakers had 10 hits yesterday. Indiana with 8. Not much discrepancy there. That just the Hoosiers couldn't consistently put a couple of hits together.
Wagner ahead early in the count, 0-2 against the righty Pine. Junior playing third base today. 0-2 misses low and away.
We'll have to keep an eye on the pitch count and if Wagner is able to stay ahead in these pitch counts, because it's something that Indiana was really trying to do yesterday, was run up the pitch counts. But when the pitcher's throwing strikes, it's kind of hard to do that.
That it is. 1-2, able to hold back, and the breaking ball just a hair low. So for the southpaw Wagner, second straight left-handed start from Purdue. Sends it home, chopper over to Gasser at short, throw across the diamond, and easily gets it to Gaffney for the second out of the inning.
And consecutive at-bats there, the Hoosiers hitting playable balls, and that's what Purdue wants you to do. And you see here, right to the shortstop, and it's easy money right there.
For Luke Wagner, the objective to give up soft contact. Strikes out a fair amount, but not an overwhelming amount, as that's a big swing and miss from the right fielder, Nick Mitchell.
Well, no, and he comes into the game today with 44 strikeouts on the season, 17 walks.
All that across a 56 even innings pitched. You can see for Nick Mitchell there a 361 average OPS, over 1,000. As he tries to get the Hoosiers going, 1-1, poked the opposite way, but it'll trend foul. Yeah, no one able to make a play on it out there. Little kids have got to get the gloves out.
Always nice to get a souvenir. You were talking about Nick Mitchell and having to get his bat going. He was 0 for 4 yesterday, really struggled at the plate. Struck out 3 times.
High heat misses up and out. Evening the count up 2-2. One of Wagner's premier pitches, kind of his calling card, is an excellent changeup where he takes about 10 miles an hour off. See if he goes to it here. 2-2, the off speed. And there'll be a foul tip.
And that was a really good job there by Nick Mitchell, getting the bat on the ball, because he was swinging at the breaking pitch you were just talking about.
When you're that early on it, it's a good job to be able to just maintain contact to buy yourself another chance. So now the southpaw Wagner misses low and away. Couldn't locate the high heat, and now the count is full. So Mitchell using the eye to extend the count. Payoff pitch. Hit out towards left field. Bolton Jr. moving in on it and makes the play for the third out of the inning. So the Hoosiers go down in order with the Boilermakers looking to cook up a response as they go to the plate for the first time on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Connor Foley returning after missing a couple of weekends of starts, but hoping to get some good work out of him.
Yeah, 9 starts this season, a 4-1 record, 4.74 ERA, 43 and 2/3 innings pitched. We'll see how he is able to attack this Boilermaker lineup here early on.
So Bolton steps in and takes the first pitch, an up and in fastball from Foley. And again, Foley missed those last couple of starts with some back soreness.
Well, the hard-throwing righty needs to shake off some of the rust, and Mike Bolton Jr., unfortunately, is that guy who's been hit more than anybody on the field here today.
Foley turning towards home. Bolton, hard hit over to second. Oliver gloves it and throws it over to first. Plenty of time for the first out of the inning.
And a nice job there by Oliver. A little different than what we saw yesterday, the 4 errors from the Hoosiers having some struggles with the natural grass surface, but a nice job there by Oliver, able to get in the position and make the play.
So that'll now bring up Cooper Kornblum. Center fielder moved way up in the order today. As he squares up to bunt, pops that one up into the sky, and Jake Stadler makes the easy catch on it. Don't think that's how he drew it up, Greg.
No, not at all, but that's what we talked about yesterday with the SID from the Indiana Hoosiers about how Purdue likes playing small ball and laying down bunts and sacrificing people around. And with the hard-throwing fastball of Connor Foley, you're not going to be able to lay down a bunt of a pitch coming in at 95 miles an hour. You see what happens when you try to do that. Popped it straight up for out number 2.
So Luke Gaffney steps into the right-hand batter's box, returning from a 3-game hiatus as he takes ball 1.
And Luke Gaffney has had a monster 2024 campaign. He is rewriting the Purdue record book as we speak.
1-0 hit hard over to short. Cerny, the sure-handed shortstop, gets it over to first base in plenty of time. So Boilers go down in order, 6 up and 6 down to this point with the top of the second inning. Stepping in wearing gray jerseys with red pinstripes.
Cerny had a really nice game yesterday as well, 2 for 4 with an RBI.
Couple of web gems over at short as well. So that one's delivered, pitched out into right center field. Kornblum under the can of corn for the first out of the inning.
And both of these teams seem well okay with just hitting playable balls here as we start at the top of the second here, and both teams are pretty much just hitting playable balls here.
So that'll now bring up the righty Brincheski, well, batting righty, I should say, switch hitter, getting the designated hitter position in this Indiana lineup as he takes strike 1.
Joey Brincheski out of the DH spot yesterday was 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Had a couple of nice putouts as well.
The 1 just misses low with the heat, evening it up 1-1.
Well, and that's what has to be the frustrating thing for the Indiana Hoosiers as well, is that it's not that they're being outmanned or that talent-wise it's overwhelmingly in one side or another. They just couldn't put the ball in play in the right time with guys on base, and 4 errors also are not a recipe for success.
Wagner delivering a 2-1, chopped foul over by the brick wall. So with the count evened up at 2-2, Luke Wagner in his first campaign with the Boilermakers after transferring in from the great state of Georgia.
Go with it, Joe, go with it.
2-2. Chopper over to short. Backhand handled by Gasser. Throw across the diamond. Plenty of time for the second out of the inning.
Nice play there for the Boilermakers shortstop. Another quick put out for 2 outs here in the top of the second.
So the 6-hitter coming in now, Brock Tibbetts holding down first base, as he'll take strike one right down Main Street.
As you take a peek at those season numbers for Tibbetts, Tibbetts coming off a little bit of an injury, but don't let that fool you. This guy can hit the ball a ton, and you can see there why the Boilermaker pitchers are going away from him. We saw a routine pop fly yesterday that landed almost at the warning track.
Yes. Wagner comes set, delivers home, and paints the bottom of the zone for strike 2. One, two, just misses outside. Excellent eye there. Tibbetts awaiting the delivery from Wagner. And that one is popped up to the right side of the infield. Gaffney called off by Gill, and Ty Gill brings it in for the third out of the inning. And man, it has been nice weather, and that has turned out some big crowds for the Boilermakers as Caskenette gets ready to step in.
Wasted away here in Boilermakerville here today, Charlie, in this beautiful May afternoon.
So that one is in there for strike 1 on Caskenette, 1-1. Today is the last of finals for Boilermakers.
Yes. Sorry, I was celebrating a little.
As Caskenette stands in with his 12 home runs. As mentioned, the RBI king on the team. Swing and a miss there. 1-2. Excellent breaking pitch coming in from Foley. One, two, misses inside, 2-2.
Nice job by Caskenette to lay off of that one.
Foley's delivery off the mark, and the count is full.
And you can see why there Connor Caskenette has drawn 19 walks this season, as well as what he's done at the plate with his bat.
Full count, Connor Foley delivers. That one pitched into shallow infield, and it's handled by Tyler Cerny for the first out of the inning.
And that's a great job there by Foley, jamming him on the inside and getting him to pop it up in the shallow infield. And again, Cerny with the routine grab, and Hoosiers will take that all day long.
Another good hitter for this Purdue team, Logan Sutter, stepping into the right-hand batter's box. And he'll pitch that one out into shallow right field, and it eats up Mitchell. Goes behind him, Sutter turning and digging for 2, and falling again is Mitchell, and it's a double for Logan Sutter as he's got the first knock in this one.
That one's just a tale of anything that can go wrong will for the right fielder, Nick Mitchell, as he mistimes that one off the bat. And then after that, it just breaks loose, and he's not able to hold on to that one. And he's lucky that Sutter didn't go for 3, but a one-out double.
So that will end up being scored as a single with an error causing the advancement. Could have gone either way on that one, as that one off the mark to Joe Stevens, the slugging Australian. Opportunity with a runner in scoring position for Stevens. As he takes another bender to the outside. And that landing looked almost a little uncomfortable for Connor Foley. Something he'll certainly want to keep an eye on.
Well, and it's not something that we want to keep beating a dead horse on here, especially on Kentucky Derby Saturday, but like the Hoosiers aren't used to playing on natural grass surfaces. Most of the games they've played this season, that one is called a strike, but the surfaces they're used to playing on this season are mostly turf fields.
Man, we're going to have a verbal warning on Greg Goff. Bill McGuire making it clear that he will have a no-nonsense approach today. And again, Greg Goff, I mean, he's not quite 90 feet away from the umpire. He's not at third, but we'll call him 85. And whatever he said must have been loud enough. It caught the ear of Bill McGuire.
I'm glad that cooler heads were able to prevail and everyone was able to stay in the park here.
Either way, Connor Foley settles in with the 2-1. That one misses up near the P on the helmet. And it'll bring the count 3-1 in favor of Stevens. Stevens awaiting the 3-1. Foley misses high and issues his first walk of the day, and the Boilers have 2 aboard early on here.
Foley still trying to shake off that rust after missing a couple of scheduled starts. The Boilermakers are taking well advantages. Foley started out with some really nice control in the top of the first, the bottom of the first, but he's kind of losing that control here in the bottom of the second.
Foley, only a sophomore, was a standout at Jasper here in Indiana, part of a pitching staff that was great. Hard hit ball to third, handled by Pine. Chance to turn 2, and it's batted off the hand, and they're going to call it an out because Sutter slid in with his hand up and obstructed the throw. So the run will not count for the Boilermakers, and that will be an inning-ending double play, but I am near certain we're going to have a meeting and a review on this one. You see that one hit over to Pine, flip over to second. And again, when you reach out with that hand and you bat the ball, it's pretty hard to defend. Here, throw down. And things get a little bit chippy because it just means a little bit extra between these teams. And haven't had any of that yet, but you can see why the umpire crew's taking sort of a no-nonsense approach to the rivalry today, so you don't have another clip that goes into that montage there.
The umpires are just going with the insurance method and trying to nip it in the bud before it gets there, especially with the temperatures rising here this afternoon in West Lafayette.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, and this rivalry, it's surprising it's not played every year.
And that one is pitched out to center field. Caskenette posts up under it. Or Kornblum, rather, brings that in.
And both of these teams don't play each other every season like they do in basketball or like they do in football. So it's not an every year home-and-home series between the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers. So there's even more tension when they do end up playing each other. I mean, this is only the 10th time these two teams have locked up at Alexander Field since it opened in 2013.
As a first pitch in from Wagner is just off the mark to, well, I could say former teammate, but they were never here at the same time, Jake Stadler. Another breaking pitch with no luck there. Trying to take advantage of the lefty-lefty matchup breaking away, but can't quite keep it in check. .2-0 is in there for strike one. Swing and a miss. Big cut at that one from Stadler. And that evens it up 2-2. Wagner's delivery home and called strike three. Backwards K for the first punch out of the game for Luke Wagner.
Yeah, and 0 for 5 now for the weekend for Jake Stadler. Struggled yesterday at the plate, and he continues to struggle. You see there, not even getting the bat off the shoulder and just watching that one go by for strike 3. Not the return he was looking for here to Alexander this weekend.
Not to this point anyway, as that'll bring up the 9-hitting second baseman, Jason Oliver, another switch hitter, batting righty. So he takes strike 1. Freshman lays off that one outside, 1-1.
And Oliver, the Orchard Lake St. Mary's Prep graduate, the 5'11" freshman infielder, already made a couple of nice plays defensively, trying to get something going here as the Hoosiers have yet to get their first hit.
That they have, and it's a 1-2 count now on the 9-hitter. Wagner's delivery just misses a hair low, bringing the count 2-2. Oliver, one of a pair of freshmen in the starting lineup for the Hoosiers, a very young team. Delivery from Wagner. That one pitched over to second. Ty Gill makes the hopping play. And Ty Gill capitalizing on his chance to start today, leaping up and robbing the first hit of the game. Score stays 0-0. Boilers back to the plate to hit. Bottom of the third when we return to Alexander Field. Having his best to date.
Yeah, and head coach Greg Goff has been a program builder everywhere he's been. His 4th stint as a head coach after stops at Alabama, Louisiana Tech, and Campbell. He's also coached 59 at Major League Baseball draft picks.
Swing and a miss from Gill there. That'll even the count at 1-1. Yes, a lot of good picks from him, and he really helped build that Camels team. Had to try to say that one fast. As that one's poked out into left field, laying out for it in a nice play by Devin Taylor in left. Laying out for the ball to pick up the first out.
What a beautiful play there from Taylor. I mean, that's an all or nothing kind of play. If he misses that one, that's going to the wall. So a nice job there by the sophomore to able to corral that one for out number 1.
So the 9-hitter for the Boilermakers due up after Devin Taylor robs that one. As Camden Gasser takes strike 1, and it's not often that your highest on-base percentage guy is batting in the 9-hole.
No, but that's the good problem the Purdue Boilermakers have, is the depth on their bench. You can have a guy bat in your 9-hole getting on base like Camden Gasser does, knowing that coming up right away and right after that in the 1 spot is Mike Bolton Jr., another guy who's very successful with getting on base.
Gasser awaiting the 1-1 from Foley off the mark. 2-1. And again, Foley was a marvelous pitcher at Jasper. Created a team that was ranked number 1 for basically the entire season in the IHSAA. As that one is a called strike 2 on Gasser, evening it up.
And this is the 9th batter that Foley's faced. He's only got 22 pitches thus far. He's pitching outs to the Boilermakers through 3 here.
Connor Foley delivering the 2-2, misses outside, and the count is full. The ever-patient Gasser steps back into the left-hand batter's box. 3-2, misses up and out. And Cam Gasser with yet another walk this year, number 48 on the season. So following the good eye from Gasser, earning him a spot aboard, it'll be Mike Bolton Jr., the leadoff hitter, stepping back in.
Bolton Jr. extended his on-base streak to 25 games yesterday.
Gasser, a guy known for some speed at first. 16 stolen bases in 19 attempts. After Bolton was unable to pull back the bunt for strike one, check over at first, and Gasser back in plenty of time.
And that's kind of been a calling card for the Purdue Boilermakers the last couple of years, is stealing bases early and stealing them often. And two of the best on the field this afternoon, one at the plate and one on first base.
Swing and a miss from Bolton Jr. there for strike two. And ever since we've seen that pairing of Curtis Washington Jr. paired with Mike Bolton Jr., they've just been tearing it up on the base paths.
Yeah, if you're a junior, Greg Goff is out there looking for you right now. It's a plus if you can steal bases.
Foley, the 0-2, well out. It was a pitch out, throw down to first, and back in time was Gasser. Good read on the throw down.
A great throw from Jake Stadler, the tag from Tibbetts, and man, they are lucky. The Boilermakers are lucky that Gasser was able to get back, because that was close.
It's a result of having a good head on your shoulders, being able to read the situation. Foley delivering the 1-2, and that'll be a pitch clock violation. I was about to say the clock did hit 0 before he started his motion, and instead of a strikeout, it is going to be a 2-2 count.
Well, the water cooler umpires here at Alexander Field had that one clicked before the home plate umpire Bill McGuire did, and McGuire was able to catch up, and that a nice break here for the Boilermakers.
2-2, another opportunity for Bolton Jr. Breaking pitch, couldn't quite find it, and the count is now full.
Yeah, and this cat and mouse game now between the Hoosiers catcher Stadler and Gasser on first base is fun to watch here.
Check back on Gasser, back in plenty of time. Back on the bump, Foley. Full count, one down. Gasser returns to the bag in time. And just as a reminder, folks, this is not the MLB. You can step off and throw over to first as many times as you'd like. You can only step off without throwing over once. Full count to Bolton Jr., and Gasser is on the move, and it's a called strike 3 on Bolton Jr., but Gasser advances without a throw to second base.
So Camden Gasser, 17 of 20 when stealing now.
So it's an out, but the runner moves into scoring position. First punch out of the day for Foley. So it'll bring up Cooper Kornblum. And Kornblum will fall behind early, 0-1.
And Kornblum's made a couple of nice plays out there in center field as well. Flew out in his first at bat. He's batting .255 though with 2 outs.
That one is in there for strike 2. Kornblum shakes his head, believes it might have been a touch high, but I think it was in there.
Yeah, and I like how Stadler moves outside of the plate, but he kept his glove right over the plate. Nice job there to confuse the batter.
And foul tip caught for strike 3. Connor Foley picks up a couple of strikeouts to strand the runner at second.
Has shown in its first 4 seasons a Big Ten best. 19 student athletes were drafted off the Indiana baseball team by a Major League Baseball club. So not only developing great humans, but developing even better athletes is Jeff Mercer in Bloomington.
That he is, after coaching at his alma mater of Wright State. Helped make that program excellent as well, as that first pitch is in there for strike 1 to the top of the order, Devin Taylor.
And it seems to be a reoccurring trend, and we saw it with Greg Goff, and we see it with Mercer on the Indiana sideline, is program builders, guys that can come into a town, a team that's not used to seeing success on the diamond and turn them around. And Greg Goff is doing that for the Boilermakers, and Mercer continues doing that for the Hoosiers.
So Taylor fouls that one off, now behind 0-2. Wagner's delivery, nice ability to hold up by Devin Taylor. Will bring the count to 1-2. That one tipped off. Nice ability to stay alive from Devin Taylor.
Both these teams are having a difficult job at the plate, getting around on this Saturday starting pitching for both teams.
Wagner, delivery home, ripped on a line into shallow right field, and it's the first hit of the game for the Hoosiers. Devin Taylor stands over at first as the leadoff man is aboard for the Hoosiers.
And Taylor accounting for 2 of the 8 Hoosier hits yesterday in game 1, and now he has the only hit through 3 innings here in game 2. And now we'll have to see with no outs if the Hoosiers can put a couple of hits together and get that first run across the plate.
Wagner now getting ready to face Josh Pine. So that one is in there for strike 1. Pine playing third base today. That one chopped over to short, chance at a 2-ball. Gasser gets it to second, throw to first, not in time. Good hustle play by Josh Pine to avoid turn and 2. It'll be a fielder's choice for him.
Yeah, nice speed down the line from the third baseman. And able to beat that one out. Clearly safe at first base, and a break for the Hoosiers.
Usually when you think of a third baseman, you think of a guy that's most certainly not beating it out down the line, but some excellent speed at the hot corner for Pine.
Well, and we talked about Indiana's struggles on a grass field, and they were using the grass field for their advantage there as that ball died in the grass before it met the glove of Cam Gasser.
Just as a reminder, brought it up yesterday, the last time before coming to Alexander that they had played on a grass field was the last day of March when they were down at Butler. So that pitch misses outside for ball 1.
Yes, I mean, you're talking an entire month's worth of games, home and away, because Hoosiers' home field is a turf field, and every team that they played at away from home also a turf field.
A lot of Big Ten schools, obviously pretty far in the north. Very hard to maintain a grass field. So that one is in there for strike 1, evening it up 1-1.
Yeah, a lot of schools going to the turf field. We have a turf field here with the minor league team, the Lafayette Aviators, here in Lafayette, Indiana. And you know, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan of those AstroTurf fields.
Talked to a lot of guys that aren't, as that one misses 2-1. And again, the turf management program at Purdue, nationally renowned, and they do such a good job of keeping all grass fields here at Purdue University.
Taking care of you up in the stars and on the ground.
So that one is fouled off, evening the count up 2-2. Doing a good job of fouling off some more pitches, getting Wagner's pitch count up to 51. Wagner, the 2-2, ripped up the middle. Nice glove by Wagner. Over to second and turns the double play. A 1-6-3 double play from Luke Wagner ends the inning. Excited me, a lot of Hawaiian shirts, even a Jimmy Buffett-themed Purdue shirt giveaway. As Gaffney awaits the first offering in for strike 1. And Jimmy Buffett was the soundtrack on my rides to school, Craig. My dad would love, he still loves, the Margaritaville radio station on Sirius XM as Gaffney hits that one over to second. Nice play in the shift as Oliver throw. Did it get him off the bag? Not quite. Good ability to keep the foot on for Tibbetts, and Luke Gaffney is retired.
And defense continues to reign supreme here this afternoon as the Hoosiers getting their opportunity here in the bottom half of this inning.
That'll now bring up Connor Caskenette. Another dangerous hitter. Will see a slight shift as his first pitch he sees is a bender in the zone for strike one.
And after a day like we saw yesterday, Charlie, with the numbers across the board, the 11 runs scored by the two teams, the 18 hits by both teams, we're not seeing that here today. And what can we attribute a lot of that to with both of these teams?
As of right now, the pitching has just been fantastic. And it's been really hard for these guys to overcome it. Just one hit for each side. As Caskenette holds up on one that got away there.
And when you're good, you're good. And we heard early on before this game started today that Connor Foley may be on a pitch count and may not be going very long, but the way that he's pitching right now, it's going to be hard for the Hoosiers to pull him off the mound right now.
They told me he was on a pitch count. When I asked what it was, they wouldn't give me that much. As I see that ball pop back towards us, I was ready for it if that netting wasn't there.
They didn't tell you that that was a merit-based pitch count, is going to be determined on how he was pitching here today, and he has been electric since we started here this afternoon.
So now a 2-2 count on the Canadian national Connor Caskenette. Takes that one up and in, and the count is now full.
Uh-oh.
And that one plunks him. Full count, and he hit him.
First hit batter of the day. And a tough pitch to hit the batter on a 3-2, but the Boilermakers aren't going to complain about that with a runner on first now. And I mean, that one, we heard it up here, and that one just, that sounded, that looked, it felt tough.
You have no fat on that part of your back, so it hurts quite a bit. And you could see Bill McGuire went to go talk to Connor Foley, who said, I'm sorry. He didn't intend to lose that one. In a full count, there's really no reason to hit the batter in the middle of the back there. Obviously inadvertent. So with the runner at first and one down, Logan Sutter takes a big cut, but comes up empty for strike one.
Oh, well, no, and you got to give a shout out to Bill McGuire doing a great job behind home plate today. Again, we showed you the package earlier on of the brothers fighting, if you will, throughout the history, and Bill McGuire doing a really nice job trying to keep both teams emotionally at bay so that it doesn't get out of control.
Check on Caskenette at first, back in plenty of time. So count still 0-1 for Sutter. In possession of the lone hit for the Boilermakers as that one hits off his hands. And it's going to be a discussion of if it hit off the handle of the bat. Oh,
yeah, they already called it a foul ball.
The initial call is a foul ball. And Sutter displeased with this, and I'm assuming the umpires will come together and talk about it. Those ones near the handle, really hard to tell.
I mean, that's tough because the ball's coming in at such velocity, you don't get to see whether it's the hand or the wrist or the arm that's getting hit. I mean, the home plate umpire, Bill McGuire, has the best view of it.
Done a good job to this point, but now with two aboard and one down, it's the third baseman, Joe Stevens. Miss up and in. Stevens will take ball one.
Yeah, and even that pitch there was, I mean, it was high and tight. And that's something that you don't want if you're the Indiana Hoosiers, is to hit another batter and load the bases here with one out.
1-0, misses low. And it is now a 2-0 count. And that was one of the signifiers that the Hoosiers were looking for, was a loss of control as a sign to move on. Swing and a miss there from Stevens at one that was a little bit low, bringing the count 2-1.
And a nice job by Foley on that one to take a little bit off of it, and Stevens was way out in front of it and wasn't able to catch up.
Delivery home right down Main Street for strike 2.
And that right there is just a beautiful pitch, freezing Stevens at the plate, and Greg Goff trying to breathe some words of encouragement here.
2-2 misses low. And Stevens now works the count full. Greg Goff trying to communicate with base runners Connor Caskenette on second and Logan Sutter over at first base.
And the Boilers doing to the Hoosiers what the Hoosiers were trying to do to them, extending at bats, riding up the pitch count.
Disengagement there with no throw. It'll be the last of those he's able to do. Stevens pitches that one out into left center field. Matheson on the move, and he's underneath it for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and that's just a great job by Connor Foley, pitching around the two-hit batsman and then running that count to a 3-2 and getting the third baseman to just pop up. So 2 outs now and 1 away from getting out of this one here and hanging another 0.
So with 2 down, Keenan Spence, the powerful right-hander, steps into the box.
And those cars parked over the left field wall are not safe with Spence up to bat.
They most certainly are not, as that's in there for strike 1. Spence has a tendency to be a pretty strong pull hitter.
We talked about that yesterday when we saw him parking the cars out there. Man, that's not a good place.
Specifically for this guy. See what Foley can dial up. 0-1 just misses low.
I like that last pitch right there. He's trying to get Spence to chase outside. Spence doing a nice job, though, of holding back on that one, but I think I swung at that one up here.
My pen went flying. 1-1 holds up, but it catches the outside corner.
And it was the same pitch from the previous one. He just brought it in a little bit, and he was able to catch that outside corner to go ahead in the count. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes, a strike away from the Hoosiers getting out of this one with runners left aboard.
2 on, 2 down. The 1-2 from Connor Foley. Taken back up the middle by Spence, and it's through. Waving the runners home. Sutter going to stay at second. Caskenette play at the plate, not in time. And it's an RBI single from Keenan Spence as the Boilers go ahead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th.
A huge momentum boost for the Boilermakers, and Spence able to find the real estate up the middle. The first one of the day that's been able to leave the infield. And the Boilermakers reap the rewards, a 1-0 lead here in the 4th.
And with that, only the second hit of the day, able to bring in the first run. As Ty Gill steps into the left-hand batter's box. Very good against the right-handers is Gill. Step off in the check on the runner at second. Met with some words from the Purdue faithful. Delivery home to Gill is popped up in the infield. Cerny trying to find his way under it, called off by Devin Taylor, who reins it in. So the left fielder Taylor ends the inning, but not before the Boilermakers put the first run home to take a 1-0 advantage. Following the pop-out, Boilermakers trying to build more momentum in the top of the 5th when we return to Alexander Field. At this point, as Luke Wagner comes out for his 5th inning of work. And his first pitch is in there for a strike on Cerny.
Yeah, and you saw a nice little clip there of the crowd here at Alexander. It seems like they're still letting people in. I have a feeling that we're going to push that that record again today. It is super no vacancy in here today, as you just droves of people coming out here to enjoy a beautiful day and a game of baseball between 2 in-state rivals.
That one chopped over to third. Nice handle by Stevens. Throw across the diamond in time for the first out of the inning. So good hustle by Cerny, but still the first out of the inning.
And defense continues to be king here. Stevens in the hot corner. Nice job able to corral that one. And Luke Gaffney does a nice job with the stretch over there at first base after getting a 3-day vacation earlier this week.
So first pitch from Wagner is in there for the strike on Brincheski. Again, Brincheski, one of the other freshmen in this lineup, is a quick pitch, results in ball one there. Switch hitting youngster takes strike two.
And coming into the game yesterday, Brincheski was second on the team in average. 125 at bats, slugging .504.
Off the mark there with a 2-2 count now. And for Purdue, outs here are big because they're a team that likes to ride with the starter for a while. Wagner 2-2 misses low. Brincheski might have forgotten about the count, took a couple steps towards first and realized it is full. Happens to the best of us. That's why we keep track of it on my fingers up here. Payoff pitch from Wagner, swing and a miss, strike three. Brought Brincheski to a knee and make it the second strikeout of the day for Luke Wagner.
That's a staggering statistic, especially the way that the Boilers have been playing and the way that Luke Wagner's been pitching. Only his second strikeout of the day as we're here in the fifth.
Really effective pitching doesn't always have to be putting up 7 or 8 strikeouts, as that's in there for strike one on Tibbetts. For a lot of guys, it's just about being able to keep it in the park, trusting your defense. So that one misses up and out for ball one.
The Boilermakers have been very efficient in the field this season. We've called a number of games here at Alexander Field this season where the defense has won the game for them, as that one's skied high and out of play.
So now a 1-2 count for Tibbetts, holding down first base today.
I'll look for Luke Wagner here to come with some more of that breaking stuff. He's been throwing really hard in this at bat.
Tries the high, he misses outside, evening it up 2-2. And sequencing, I think, is probably the hardest part of pitching that nobody thinks about. It's the psychology of what am I going to do? What do you think I'm going to do? He was early on the off-speed from Wagner, ripping it down the line, foul ball.
That was a nice job, third base coach, getting out of the way of that one, and that was a rocket.
And if you're a pitcher, you're happy with the fact that you fooled him. You're not happy with the fact that he did hit it really hard. I want to hit over to second. Ty Gill gets it over to Gaffney for the third out. So heading into the middle of the fifth, Boilermakers with a 1-0 lead.
So Bothwell's going to come in here and try to continue doing what his teammate Connor Foley did and stifle this Boilermaker offense.
So that one is in there for strike one. Again, Bothwell a lefty, a difference from the starter Foley, the right-hander. Second pitch from Bothwell misses outside.
Who do you give the benefit to, the hitter or the pitcher with the lefty-lefty? Because the first two batters he's going to face are lefties, and Gasser and Bolton Jr.
99% of the time, it is the pitcher, and I would say that remains true as Gasser takes that one up the middle. Excellent contact tool from him. And Cam Gasser has got his first hit of the day.
And it has to feel good for Cam Gasser, who struggled yesterday at the plate to come in here and get the monkey off his back and get that third hit of the game for the Boilermakers. And now with the Bolton Jr. coming up behind him, see Joe Stevens Getting some water here on a warm day in West Lafayette.
So Gasser has gotten aboard both times he's come up with a walk and a hit. Now it's Mike Bolton Jr. as the lineup turns over. And Purdue Pete joins us here in the booth. Purdue Pete putting on a little show here. Here, Purdue Pete, would you like to have a seat with us here?
No, you got to sit too, Charlie. Pete, you can sit right there.
So that one is a bunt back to the pitcher's mound. Bothwell went for the underhand toss and a miscommunication as Tibbetts moved in. So it'll be a runner aboard. And I know this is supposed to be a neutral broadcaster. Are we supposed to bring in such a big fan of Purdue here with Purdue Pete? As we take another look at this replay, then we'll cut to Pete here as that's back to the pitcher. Underhand toss was no good. As here we've got Purdue Pete taking a look at the old lineup card. Ty Bothwell pitch in and taken for ball one. As here's Purdue Pete and I. Purdue Pete, any words for the people? I didn't think so. Either way, back to the baseball here.
You got to tell that guy to stop yelling, Charlie.
His silence says much. 1-0 pitched out into left field, and it's going to be Taylor hauling it in. So Kornblum is retired with a 1-out, 2 aboard situation coming up. This is about the nightmare situation hitter. Even though he's 0 for 2 today, Luke Gaffney, this is a guy that can hit.
Well, Gaffney finished his 3-game suspension yesterday in game 1, coming back after having a half a week off and trying to shake the rust off. 0 for 2 today, but definitely has the power to leave the yard. 5-time Big Ten freshman of the week.
So now with 1 down, 2 aboard, Gaffney still awaiting seeing his first pitch, and this is a lefty-righty matchup, something that Luke Gaffney is a very big fan of. Gaffney chops that one to the left of third, foul ball.
And he just missed that one, a little bit out in front of it, wasn't able to get all of it. Tried to pull that one down the left field line that would have surely scored Cam Gasser from the second.
A little too close to the handle with that one there as well. Bothwell comes set. 0-1 is poked over to first. Tibbetts picks it up and takes it himself to the bag.
15 RBI in the last 3 games.
Pitch misses low there. And Caskenette takes ball 1. Caskenette was hit by a pitch his last time up. Southpaw Bothwell misses outside. The count goes 2-0.
Well, it's also his first opportunity to see Bothwell, see the movement on his pitches, the velocity, as he tries to time him up here.
2-0 misses low. And there is a free base to give, but you don't necessarily want to give it up in this situation.
You don't want to, but you also see the way that Bothwell is going away from Caskenette, not giving him anything up and in the zone where Caskenette can drive and put it somewhere in the outfield.
3-0 opportunity, and it's the auto take for strike 1.
Yeah, the auto take on the 3-0 is undefeated.
That it is.
Especially in a tight game like this. You won't have to go back to the dugout after a swing on a 3-0.
3-1 is ripped down the line, but to the left of the line. Foul ball for Caskenette, and the count is full.
Well, and that's the benefit now for Ty Bothwell. You're behind in the count 3-0. You have to throw a strike. You get the strike call, and then the very next pitch, a foul ball. So now an opportunity to get out of this inning and leave some runners aboard for the Boilermakers.
The last pitch, an off speed that worked really well for Bothwell. Will he go back to the well? 3-2, a chopper over to short. Cerny throws across the diamond and in time. Excellent work from Bothwell to survive runners in scoring position, but the score stays 1-0 with the advantage to the Boilermakers as when we return the top of the 6th inning. For this Hoosier squad,
Wagner's already faced 15 batters. 67th pitch of the game is a strike for strike one.
Matheson, a left-hander. Pops up the 0-1. Joe Stevens moving in, Wagner moving towards it. And it's Joe Stevens who bobbles the catch, couldn't bring it in. And it's going to be an opportunity again for Matheson.
Yeah, and that was a weird sequence there as Matheson hit that one 2 miles high as Stevens came all the way in. Just missing the catch there, but 3 Boilermakers converging and Stevens wasn't able to make the play, so a mulligan for Matheson.
Matheson, a graduate of Homestead High School in Fort Wayne, takes ball 1 there. Being a junior, he would have also graduated alongside Purdue starting shooting guard Fletcher Lawyer. One-two chopped over to second. Gill gets it over to Gaffney and plenty of time for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and the hitting woes continue for the Indiana Hoosiers. 1 of 15 at the plate now, batting .067. 0 for 2 with runners on, 0 for 4 with 2 outs as they continue seeking the tying run and some offense. 1 hit and 1 error on the board for them thus far.
That one is in there for strike 1. As the lineup continues to move on down, it's Jake Stadler. Fouls that off and now quickly behind 0-2.
And that's dangerous for Stadler with the way that Wagner has been throwing his breaking stuff here today.
That one hit hard over to first. Gaffney, nice little play, underhand toss to Wagner. And it's a 3-1 for the second out of the inning.
The Boilermakers did a really nice job there with putting the shift on their former teammate in Jake Stadler, and Stadler hitting right into it for easy out number 2. And again, the Hoosiers still looking for that pop, looking for that momentum swing in offense here.
Jason Oliver, the second baseman, returns into the batter's box. Again, switch hitter batting righty, pops up the bunt and it'll roll foul for strike 1. Even though it went foul, you know, just for a moment there, Oliver was very concerned. You don't want to see that much air under a bunt.
No, not at all. And we saw the Purdue Boilermakers have that same situation earlier on in this game, and it was actually caught by the Hoosiers, and so the Hoosiers getting a mulligan here for the second time this inning.
Pitch misses low from Wagner, evening the count up 1-1.
And the Boilermakers don't give you multiple second opportunities. If you catch them off guard, that's good, but Purdue has been very strong defensively.
That one fouled off for strike 2. Switch hitting second baseman Jason Oliver, trying to make the most of his 30th start of the year. Takes pitch outside. Count even now 2-2. That one popped up and out of play, foul ball. Staying alive is Oliver.
Nice souvenir for the Indiana Hoosier fans sitting down the first base line here at Alexander. A lot more crimson and cream in the crowd today as opposed to yesterday in Friday's game 1.
Pitch in there for strike 3. Luke Wagner with the third strikeout of the game as he hangs the backward K. As Ty Bothwell prepares for his second inning of work. Gave up 2 hits last inning, none of them touched home. Sutter puts that one over to short. And throw across the diamond made by Tyler Cerny for the first out of the inning.
The defense continues, and now the Hoosiers version here in the top half of the 6th inning. It's almost as if no one wants to hit or wants to get on base with a hit.
And this whole game, only 5 hits, 4 of them for the Boilermakers, 1 for the Hoosiers. This time is called for Greg Goff to have a discussion with Joe Stevens.
And I don't think you could ask for a better afternoon for the 300th game here in this series between the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers. It has lived up to the hype, if you will. Yesterday it was all Purdue with the 4 errors, but today both of these teams have come out here playing in game 2.
And I got to tell you, you can feel the energy. I got here over 2 hours early today. There were friends of mine that were grilling fajitas for lunch on a Blackstone grill, and there was a bigger group of IU fans back behind them.
Meaning that they had been here since earlier this morning.
They got here at 8 in the morning.
Yeah, there's just a different vibe here on rivalry weekend with the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers. And again, unless you're here, unless you see it, unless you feel it, you don't even know. Have to come out and enjoy this one next time, whether it's here in West Lafayette or down south in Bloomington.
Pitch misses low there, and Joe Stevens takes the first 2 for balls.
And you also know it's a big afternoon when you have Hall of Famers throwing out the first pitch, as we saw Gene Cady, Hall of Fame basketball coach here at Purdue University, throwing out the first pitch this afternoon.
Certainly a big day at the ballpark as Stevens takes ball 3. Excellent pitch to find the low part of the zone for strike 1 on the auto take from Stevens. Bothwell comes set. Swing and a miss. And that'll even the count, or bring the count full rather. 3-2 on Stevens.
And that's the second time that's happened in consecutive innings. Purdue hitter going up 3-0 and then followed by 2 strikes. We'll have to see how Stevens replicates here on the payoff.
Full count, fouled back, and he'll buy himself another chance. As Sam Murrison hustles out of the dugout to make sure to get the ball.
I like when it's hit up into the netting and they come out and the competition to see if they can catch it off the net. Old arena football style.
3-2. Ripped out towards center field. Matheson tracking back, stops under it, and hauls it in for the second out of the inning.
Well, it's nice to see a ball get hit out of the infield. I'm sure Joe Stevens would like to see this ball go a little bit farther. But a nice play there by Matheson.
So now with 2 down, it'll bring up Keenan Spence with the lone RBI in this game. Facing Bothwell, lefty-righty. Spence takes strike 1 there. You know, I've heard that Keenan Spence might be the second largest attraction in Australia, just behind the Sydney Opera House. It's got him by a little bit.
Just a tad, but it's nice that Australia is able to lend him to the Purdue Boilermakers for a couple of seasons, and he's making an impact here. The junior right fielder, he's made a couple of plays in the field defensively today. Again, as you said, the 1 RBI, the only RBI. Can we start that? Is that a new thing? Everything's bigger in Australia?
I feel like it is kind of the Texas of islands.
the
I mean,
Texas.
yeah, you get what I'm saying.
No, I do 100% get what you're saying. I mean, you'd have to ask an Australian how they felt about being called the Texas of Islands, but
we'll look into it. 1-2, swing and a miss, and it's a punch out for Bothwell, his first of the game. And it's another 0 hung for the Hoosiers, but the Boilermakers with a 1-0 advantage heading in to the bottom of the 6th. Or check that into the 7th when we return here on Big Ten Plus. You can see 32 home runs at Alexander Field and 205 strikeouts being kept track of by the walk-off squad, the student-led organization down the first base line.
Yeah, this is their debut season with the walk-off squad, and they've done an incredible job drawing the student population out here to Alexander Field to support the Purdue Boilermakers. And I mean, it's just fun. It's more fun when they're around. Charlie, I've done enough games here this year where they make things a lot more exciting, a lot more fun here for the fans and the students at Alexander.
That they do. And as we return to the action here, it's the leadoff hitter, Devin Taylor, taking a big cut for strike one.
Yeah, and Luke Wagner, again, starting his 7th inning of service, still coming out throwing BBs.
That one's over to the second position, but actually handled by the shortstop Gasser in the shift for the first out of the inning.
We've seen a couple of those cross-face plays today. It didn't work out for the Hoosiers early on, but Boilermakers in sync here. Gasser says, see you later.
It's one of those, if you're keeping the scorebook with the guy next to you, you have to get into an argument over who picked it up. It's 6-1, we promise. Or 6-3 there, as that's 0-1.
And then
I watch enough baseball that I should know better.
And then you have your producer in your ear correcting you.
As that's a liner up over the glove of Gaffney. And only the second hit of the day for the Hoosiers, but Josh Pine stays hot and has the tying run aboard.
A nice job there by Pine. Putting bat on ball and almost got caught coming too hot around first base, but he was able to put on the brakes and stay there. But nice job by Pine. We'll see if Mitchell can follow one up here.
So it'll bring up the lefty, Nick Mitchell. Takes this one the opposite way. It'll drop in front of Bolton Jr., and that's back-to-back base knocks for the Hoosiers. And for the first time in this game, Luke Wagner in a touch of trouble with 2 aboard.
Yeah, and the Hoosiers getting hot here at the right time of their order with Taylor, Pine, and Mitchell, and now Cerny coming up. Hoosiers hoping that Cerny can find some range and drive in one of these runs, still down 1-1.
And with Goff coming out, I wouldn't be surprised to see a change coming. Quality start here.
Yeah, 6 1/3, only giving up 3 hits, 3 strikeouts. He faced 21 batters, and at one point in time in the last inning, in the 6th inning, Charlie, he had 17 of 18 batters went down that he faced.
And you can see at the end of his day, obviously any pitcher disappointed to leave, but he leaves his team with the lead, but with 2 aboard as the reliever Jackson Danley steps in for the 14th time this year.
Well, and that's the mentality of the Purdue Boilermakers as next man up. Jackson Danley, 13 appearances this season, an 0-3 record, 4.65 ERAs, pitched in 31 innings, even as he looks to come in here and relief and get the Boilermakers out of a little jam here in the 7th.
And when you take a look at Danley, he's got extremely good high-speed stuff. Also has some solid breaking pitches in his 2nd season here with the Boilermakers. The Texas native has gotten the nod for a lot of save opportunities this year, but with 2 aboard, they want to make sure he gets them out of what can be quite a jam with 2 on and 1 down. A ground ball pitch here is certainly what is in play for Danley.
Well, it's not the worst situation you can get in, that being bases loaded with no outs, but coming in here with 2 aboard when Indiana hasn't hit the ball very well here today. They have a little bit of momentum. We'll have to see if the little bit of a break in between it causes any issues, but we talked about Danley and his velocity as we take a peek here. Danley has a fastball from 91 to 95 miles an hour, trending up more toward 95 to 96. A changeup at 81 to 83, which is a crazy drop off from the 95 mile an hour fastball, and then a breaking pitch that comes in even slower with movement around 78 to 81 miles an hour. So we'll have to see how the Hoosier hitters translate to that change in velocity with Danley.
So it's Cerny stepping in to the right-hand batter's box, taking on righty-righty Jackson Danley, who throws ball 1.
The main concern that you have with Danley is coming in this relief situation, a control issue, and you don't want to start throwing balls and walking guys, especially with 2 aboard.
Able to locate that one for a 1-1 count. And again, when you're trying to generate a ground ball, you want the hitter to be on top of that pitch. So look for him to be trying to paint the bottom of the zone. That one roped on a line and caught by Gaffney. Luke Gaffney stays alive over there at first base. And now 2 down and 2 aboard.
Yeah, that one will wake you up there. Gaffney, you see the nice hop there right as the pitch was being delivered, prepared to make a play on that one. A smart move by Gaffney as well to check the runner at second.
No opportunity to turn 2, but it'll now be Brincheski batting out of that left-hand batter's box as a switch hitter for the first time today. He takes a cut and comes up empty, strike 1.
Danley's got some pop behind that fastball. You can hear the clap of the leather glove of Connor Caskenette.
He had missed some time earlier this season with a finger injury, has since returned. 0-1 just off the mark outside, 1-1.
Yeah, and again, it's a true testament to the rosters built by these 2 managers of the next man up mentality is when one man goes down, the next one steps up and fields in until the injury is healed.
1-1 poked out the opposite way, got a chance if it's fair, and it is foul. Sigh of relief from the Boilermaker fans, sounds of frustration from the Indiana fans.
Yeah, you hear the air come out of this building as that one went off the bat, and even us, you look down the line there, I mean, that looked good. It just trailed foul though.
No wind or anything to move it, just a little natural motion, took it out of play. So Brincheski awaiting the 1-2 from Danley. That one put in the gap between short and third, and they're going to send the runner home. Throw coming in, and no chance at the plate. It's a tie ball game following an RBI from Joey Brincheski. So Danley returns to take on Tibbetts. The first baseman takes strike 1 inside.
And Tibbetts also 0 for 2 today. A couple of fly balls.
Both teams now even at 4 hits. Check on Mitchell back at second, back in time. Just as a reminder, it is Mitchell on second and Brincheski on first.
It was a nice pickoff move there from Danley. The throw was a little bit high. I'm sure if he had another opportunity, he'd like to get that one down a little bit, but a nice pickoff move. Let's try to get Mitchell at second.
0-1 from Danley, fouled back. And it's an 0-2 count. So Danley with 2 aboard and just 1 strike to get to keep this game tied. As for the Hoosiers, Brock Tibbetts trying to help lift his team up here in the 7th. Danley, the 0-2. Ripped in the gap between short and third, and they're going to send him home. No chance at the plate. And that right there is a go-ahead RBI single from Brock Tibbetts. And the Hoosiers lead at 2-1.
big time Brock Tibbetts coming through huge, batting .386 this season and able to find some distance and drive in the go-ahead run for the Hoosiers. A 2-1 lead now as they have really broke out here at the plate in the seventh, Charlie.
And something the Boilermakers are going to find is that Danley may not be the best fit for going against the Hoosiers exclusively because of his high fastball velocity. That's what the Hoosiers want to see. They really struggle more with breaking stuff, and hitting in scoring position has been a key factor for the Hoosiers in this one as well.
Yeah, and the Hoosiers continue to be efficient with runners in scoring position. 571 on Friday, 667 today, and most of that coming here in the top half of this seventh inning. And as you said, we talked about this a couple of times. The Hoosiers like hitting higher velocity pitches. They're not very good. Haven't been very good this season in hitting off-speed breaking stuff.
Bender from Danley. Did he go? No, he didn't. It'll be ball one. So an opportunity for the left-hander Carter Matheson to go in and make some noise. Danley throws that one in, foul back for strike one. And if you're Danley, you came in with two aboard. Neither of the runs charged to you, but does end up resulting in the difference in the score of this game. Trying to get his way out. 1-1 is pitched up foul towards the parking lot. And off the roof for strike two. Carter Matheson stepping back in. Junior center fielder awaiting the offering from the senior Danley, and he did not go. It'll be a 2-2 count.
And credit Matheson there, able to lay off of that one. That was a really nice placement, a little bit outside, but to be able to lay off of that one on a 1-2.
So with the count now even, Danley trying to dial back in. 2-2 is roped into right field, and that's got a chance. It is gone. 3-run jack from Carter Matheson, his 12th home run of the year, and the Hoosiers have blown this one open 5-1.
Yeah, and that one was a no-doubter from the center fielder, and he got all of that one. And that's when you know when the right fielder doesn't go all the way to the wall, you know what that says. And Matheson has his team fired up. And as you said, Indiana 5-1 lead now.
Going into this inning, the Hoosiers had only one hit. They have now had 5 more hits and 5 runs scored as that one is roped into right center field. Back at the wall, and it is down, rounding for 2. And Jake Stadler in with a stand-up double. And the Hoosiers are rolling at the plate.
Yeah, and that has to feel really good for Jake Stadler, the Greenfield, Indiana native. He has struggled this weekend in his return back to West Lafayette after transferring away last season. Stadler getting his first hit of the weekend, a punctuation, if you will, to this massive top half of the 7th inning for the Indiana Hoosiers.
I mean, you can see getting loose out in the pen, Carter Dorn and Davis Pratt. Little mound visit. Can't have a meeting with a coach because that would result in having to make a change. Oh, well, Greg Goff decides he wants to make a change. As he heads out there, it'll be the second visit of the inning and the end of Danley's day after getting only 1 out. Next Purdue pitcher going to be coming into a situation with a runner in scoring position and a 4-run deficit, trying to keep it close. going to strike out a lot of guys, might walk a few more than you'd like, but not an egregious amount.
No, not at all. And batters are hitting .242 against him this season with 2 outs. As he gets the first pitch strike there on a foul ball.
I think that one might have actually been fouled off of home plate umpire Bill McGuire's left leg. He didn't react, not at all.
Stone face, man.
Either he's got the shin protectors on under there, or he's just the coldest man on earth down there.
He is all business today behind home plate.
Excellent bender in there for strike 2. And Davis Pratt dialed in early with an 0-2 advantage, taking on Jason Oliver, the bottom of this order. Switch hitter, batting righty.
Well, and it remains to be seen. Indiana struggles as a team hitting against off-speed and breaking stuff, and that's the type of pitches that Davis Pratt has led off with here against Oliver.
And here's a weird one for you. Jason Oliver, I had mentioned he's a switch hitter batting righty. He's batting righty-righty selectively. 0-2 takes on the outside for ball 1.
Well, he's over 2 today from the right side of the, from batting right side. Trying to break that streak here.
Bold choice for him as Pratt delivers the 1-2, fouled off. An excellent breaking pitch. Had him out early.
Yeah, Cotton will have to see how it works out for him.
And for Davis Pratt, stylistically, a lot more of what these Hoosiers don't want to see. A lot of big movement on his pitches. Jason Oliver trying to keep the big inning alive. Takes a fastball low and away, evening it up 2-2.
Well, and I know you only have what you have, but if I'm Greg Goff, the remainder of this game and the rest of the weekend, with the finishing up the 3-game series tomorrow, I'm not throwing anybody that has any velocity over 94.
Now I'm throwing out Old Curly with a looping curveball, right?
Do we got a guy down the bench, a freshman that can throw a knuckle or something?
So that one just misses outside with a full count, 3-2. Or maybe an old timer with a handlebar mustache, you know, something like that. I bet he could throw a good looper.
A closer with a Fu Manchu, man. That guy means all business, but he has no speed.
3-2 for Pratt. Oliver awaiting the payoff pitch, rips it on a line out into left center, and Mike Bolton Jr. can't get it. That's going to be an RBI extra base hit. Dig it in, and he'll stay at 2. It's an RBI double for Jason Oliver, and the Hoosier hysteria continues 6-1 in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, you get a hit, we get a hit, we all get hits in this inning, and Oliver continues that on a 3-2 pitch past the outstretched arm of Mike Bolton Jr., and they are exercising their demons here this afternoon in the 7th inning.
So now a 6-1 game. And the lucky number for the Hoosiers so far this year has been 7. It was something that when I talked to them, they don't win a lot of games unless if they score a lot of runs. And this season, they have only won 1 game without scoring 7 runs, and that was all the way back on February 22nd against Baylor. A game in which they scored 6. So if they want to win, they've got to score. 1-1 from Pratt, misses outside, and it's a 2-1 count.
And Davis Pratt needs to get the batter at the plate. 2 outs. The Boilermakers need to stop the bleeding, but Taylor back up. 1 for 3 now, trying to continue this inning.
Pitch fouled back, and the count now even at 2-2. And for Purdue, they're trying to do anything that they can to get out of what has been a nightmare inning for them.
Yeah, they're hoping they wake up from this nightmare in the bottom of the 7th.
Second time this inning for Devin Taylor. 2-2. Takes that one inside, and it's a full count.
Now, if you're the team on defense and you see a team bat around for the second time, that usually doesn't mean the inning has gone very well for you.
Not unless if you went around twice the one before. 3-2. Ripped on a line foul. And it'll be another opportunity for the leadoff man, Devin Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor just missed on that last one. He was a little bit out in front of it. See if he sees that same pitch here on the 3-2.
Davis Pratt comes set. Kicks and delivers home, misses outside, and Devin Taylor is aboard after picking up his 31st walk of the year.
And the inning that will never end is continued here. As Pine back up to the plate, and we saw what Pine did earlier on here.
Started the barrage.
Yeah.
With the single.
Pine brought the wood, and he brought his friends with him.
Whole Forest. So that one misses there, 1-0. So Purdue already given up 6. With the 7th in scoring position, needing Davis Pratt to pick up this out. And Connor Caskenette wants to have a conversation briefly, not actually a visit, just stand up and go, hey, let's figure this out.
Well, and you have to imagine it has to be frustrating. The Boilermakers holding the 1-0 advantage since the 4th inning and only giving up 1 hit through almost 6 2/3, 6 1/3. And then how the wheels have fallen off here in the top of the 7th. Frustration building now for the Boilermakers.
So that one is popped up and goes out of play. Now a 2-1 count. So for Pratt, the senior from Albuquerque, New Mexico, trying to dial back in. 2-1. Just misses outside, and it's a 3-1 advantage to the 2-hitter, Josh Pine. So 3-1, you would assume it'd probably be a take. As Pratt delivers home and finds it for strike 2, so the count will be full.
3-2 count now for the 2nd consecutive at-bat. The Hoosiers have come out on top the previous 2. We'll see how it goes here with Pine.
Josh Pine awaiting the offering. Bender finds the zone for strike 3. So Davis Pratt hangs the backwards K, but not before the Hoosiers have an offensive onslaught. Never question the integrity of the schmiddle of the inning. So that one is in there, taken back up the middle. Nice play over at second, and Jason Oliver shift works into his advantage as Keenan Taylor, the pinch hitter, is retired.
Yeah, and that's what you need if you're Indiana. You want to keep playing the playable ground balls and catching the fly balls and get out of here quickly with this victory over the Boilermakers. Not allow them to try to replicate the inning the Hoosiers had in the top of the 7th. These hits and runs have been hard to come by here today, except for when Indiana broke the door open previous inning.
So now 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the order, Camden Gasser steps in as he takes strike 1. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times it's hard when your team is a big scoring inning to go back in and continue to pitch. But Ty Bothwell looked very good so far to this point in this inning. 0-1 delivery taken up the middle, and Oliver again gloves it, throw to first in time. And that's 2 up, 2 down for the Hoosiers. Boilermakers down to their final out of the bottom of the 7th.
Well, and you see there in that at-bat, the last 2 at-bats actually, why Connor Foley and Ty Bothwell have been so successful today against the Purdue Boilermakers is just ground balls. They're not giving the Boilermaker hitters anything to hit and hit hard and drive into space, similarly to how the Hoosiers were doing in the top of the 7th.
So it'll be Mike Bolton Jr., the leadoff man, coming up for the 4th time today as he takes strike 1. 1 hit in this one was his last time up. Ripped on a line to first and can't be handled by Tibbetts. It'll go out into right, and Mike Bolton Jr. is aboard with the single.
And that has to feel good for Bolton Jr. extending his on-base streak today and trying to keep the Boilermakers alive here in game 2. A nice hit down the line, and that was one of the hardest hit balls I've seen Mike Bolton Jr. hit on the ground this season.
2 for 4 now is Bolton Jr. Cooper Kornblum currently 0 for 3 comes in with 1 aboard. Fouls that one off for strike 1. Lefty-righty matchup for the senior center fielder Kornblum. That one pitched up high, trending towards foul ground, trying to get it as Tibbetts, and he hauls it in just before the dugout. And the Boilermakers get 1 hit, but leave the runner on first. One hit going into it and picked up 7 hits and 6 runs in the top of the 7th. For the Boilermakers, they're trying to do everything they can to keep that as a 1-inning occurrence, as strike 1 is whipped in there to Nick Mitchell. Still facing Davis Pratt in this one, as that one's floated out of play. Mitchell now behind 0-2. Mitchell at a single last inning. Misses outside, and it's a 1-2. Pratt delivers home, can't quite locate that one, and it's a 2-2 count. That one roped to first base, and Luke Gaffney flashing the leather. Little web gem over at first base from Luke Gaffney, and it's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and that one looked like danger from off the end of the bat, but Luke Gaffney, what a play by the 5-time Big Ten freshman of the week. You see why with plays like that.
You look at the guy and you see a batting average over 400, and yes, that's important for this Purdue team, but his defense just about equally important as Pratt gets strike 1 there.
Yeah, he's been an all-around player for the Purdue Boilermakers, both at the plate and in the field.
Swing and a miss from Cerny, and he finds himself quickly behind 0-2. Shortstop Cerny waiting the offering from the other number 8. Pratt bounces that one in for ball 1, more of a cricket bowl. That is what they call pitching in cricket, bowling.
When the ball lands in front of the plate out of your hand, you know something went wrong.
Might have spiked something, just a little bit. 1-2 misses outside. And a patient eye from Cerny earns him another pitch, 2-2. And the bender freezes him. Bat stays on the shoulder, and it's a backwards K for Davis Pratt, his second strikeout of the day.
Nice job there on the payoff. Dropping it right in the pocket over the strike zone.
So that now brings up Joey Brincheski, who takes strike 1.
Hoosier hitters continue to struggle. It's off-speed breaking pitchers. Oh, that one's a little bit too far inside.
And it is warned by Brincheski, who will head down to first base. And following getting hit by the pitch, with 2 down, it'll be Brock Tibbetts stepping in. Another look at that hit by pitch. I don't think that was quite the one he got hit on. That one misses high. It's a 1-0 count. But if you're going to get hit by one, you want it to be one of those looping curveballs, not, the high cheddar.
Oh, no.
Usually it is the high cheddar, but so you'll almost welcome getting hit by the curve.
If you're going to let me pick which pitch I'm going to get hit by, it's going to be the off-speed stuff.
So that one floated out into right field, but it'll carry foul. Now 1-1. Tibbetts, the first baseman, had a hit. An RBI single last inning. As he chops that one foul towards the Purdue dugout. The count goes to 1-2. So for Davis Pratt, now one strike away from getting out of the eighth unscathed. One-two bender is lifted high into the sky. In left field, Mike Bolton Jr. sets up shop under it and brings it in for the third out of the inning. So Hoosiers strand one. Boilermakers able to hang up a 0 on a very high fly ball out to left field. Boilers with some work to do, bottom of the eighth, when we return. So you can see crowd still full, but moving towards the shade on this hot afternoon. So that's in there for strike one, though it could not be held onto by Jake Stadler. Luke Gaffney takes strike one.
Well, something tells me with today being the last day for finals this semester, the walk-off squad's probably pretty happy regardless of the scoreboard. Probably going to be even happier when they go to Harry's here after the game.
Pitch misses high. The count evens up at 1-1. And for Gaffney, yet to get a hit in this one. That's a bit uncharacteristic of him. After missing 3 contests in a row. Pitches that one up into foul ground. It'll be a 1-2 count.
Well, baseball players being creatures of habit, doing the same thing the same way over and over and over again, had to be a little bit of a shock to Luke Gaffney not being able to play for 3 games. See if he can get things worked out here.
And you'd hate to see a great season thrown off the track following that suspension from Gaffney as he puts that one out in the gap between short and second. Nice job handling it from Cerny, and a good extension from Tibbetts at first. Gets the first out of the inning, and Gaffney's retired.
And that's something to note that you're not going to see in the statistics, but yesterday the errors, a couple of the errors the Hoosiers had were at first base with bad throws and pulling the first baseman Tibbetts off the bag, and Tibbetts has done a really nice job back in the lineup today at first base. He's able to make all of the plays over there at first base. No errors today at first base, and only 1 total for the Hoosiers.
Ty Bothwell delivers home and fouled off near the handle for strike one from Caskenette. Again, we talked about how they were planning on using Bothwell as sort of a piggyback to extend the start, and he has done just that through 3 1/3.
Yeah, he's come in here and retired 10 of the 13 batters he's faced.
Now, one hard hit in the gap between short and third, and that's going to be a base knock for Connor Caskenette, his first of the day.
Yeah, broadcaster Kirsten in the middle of the swing, make that 10 of 14 today.
So with one aboard, it'll now bring up Logan Sutter. Sutter is 1 for 2. Was also hit by a pitch in this one that had to be reviewed. Both those coming in his first 2 at-bats, grounded out to the shortstop his last time up. Sutter floats that one out foul, and it'll be strike one. And for the Boilermakers, they're not going to be able to get back in this one with one swing at any point. It's going to take a collection of hitters getting things going for them. And with only 5 more outs, the Boilers want to make it interesting, they're going to have to do it sooner rather than later. Big cut comes up empty from Sutter, and it's a 1-2 count. Pitch fouled off, and Sutter stays alive. So Sutter with a 1-2 advantage, or 1-2 disadvantage rather. Ty Bothwell. Delivery on the 1-2 just misses high. And it is a 2-2 count. Sutter awaiting the offer from the lefty. Put that one out in the left-hand batter's box for ball 3. And with the count full, 1 on and 1 down, opportunity for Logan Sutter here.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat for the Boilermakers. You said down 5 and needing to get something going, a little bit of anything.
That one is off the mark, and Sutter's aboard for the 3rd time today, and it'll be runners on 1st and 2nd with only 1 down following back-to-back walks.
Well, and Charlie, we talked about how well Indiana hit the ball in the top of the 7th inning, but something we haven't really talked about here today are the number of runners that Purdue has left on base in this game. Down 5 right now. Purdue's left 7 runners on base today, so Purdue's been able to hit the ball well enough to get runners aboard. They just haven't been able to find the consistency to hit them in.
My apologies for saying that it was back-to-back walks. It was a single for Caskenette followed by the walk. Joe Stevens trying to get things going for himself. Walked in the 2nd inning and hasn't done a whole lot since. Righty Joe Stevens, the Australian, awaiting pitch from Bothwell, and it's in there for strike 2 on the inside part of the zone.
Yeah, and that's tough for Joe Stevens. A great pitch by Bothwell, able to hit that inside corner, and now Stevens down to his last strike.
0-2, fouled basically off of the handle. I have no idea how Joe Stevens got around on it, but he stays alive. 0-2. And the worst outcome for the Boilermakers here would be hitting into a double play, something Stevens will want to be wary of. As much as you, as a Purdue fan, would never want to see him strike out, it's much better than hitting into an inning-ending double play. Puts a charge into that one a little late on it, and count stays 0-2. Bothwell comes set. Southpaw motions home. Slapped over towards second base. Oliver picks it up. No chance at 2, but he will retire Stevens over at first. So the runners advance, but Stevens is retired.
Almost got him with the jinx there. Almost hit into the double play. Ball was lightly hit and died in the grass again. Only able to get the runner at first in Stevens, but another prime opportunity here for the Boilermakers to cut into this 5-run lead. Runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, but you do have Keenan Spence coming up to the plate here.
Spence, the bare-knuckle batter there. Playing right field today, takes ball 1. Offered him from Bothwell. Only other time he's faced Bothwell in this one, he struck out. Did have an RBI to put the Boilermakers ahead back in the 4th inning. So that one is off the mark. 2-0 is the count. Caskenette on third, Sutter on second. Keenan Spence waiting the 2-0, and he bats that hard out into right center field. Matheson settles under it, and Carter Matheson hauls in the third out of the inning. Some big-time velocity. Oh, and a little bit of juggling there. Loving it. Andrew Wiggins on the bench there. No, not the basketball Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, the baseball player, doing a little juggling in the IU bullpen, or dugout rather, as the first pitch is fouled off by lefty Carter Matheson, and he had a memorable last at-bat, Craig.
Yeah, Matheson had the 3-run home run.
Chopped hard to first. Gaffney gets it and takes it himself for the first out of the inning.
A nice job there by Pratt, able to keep Matheson in the yard. Last ball hasn't landed yet, but 1 out for the Boilermakers as they look to try to stifle the Hoosiers for the second consecutive inning.
And again, that's a hard ball to make a play on, but Gaffney's first base defense is really good. Pratt delivery inside near the knees of Stadler for ball 1.
Stadler got his first hit of the weekend in his last at bat. A ball landed at the foot of the right field wall. Thought for a second off the end of the bat that Stadler might have gotten the home run he was looking for, and the Hoosiers going to go back to back, but he got by the wall monster.
The launch angle not quite right. And with that one outside there, it is a 3-0 count. Pratt has been stretched out in this one. He's thrown 1 2/3 already. Someone's in there for strike 1. It's something that you don't want to see a lot. If you're Purdue, you're not wanting to make another pitching change to try to maintain the arms for the Sunday competition, currently trailing by 5, as that's in there for strike 2. It's a full count on Stadler.
Well, yeah, and that's because of the importance of each one of these Big Ten games as we wind down the remainder of the season. Each one is important in their own way.
As that one is floated out to the right field wall, and Keenan Spence can't rein it in. Stadler moves over to second, and I have a feeling that one will be scored as an error.
Yeah, and there's just no excuse on that one. That was a lazy attempt at a grab at the wall. Almost as he quit on it right there at the end and just kind of let it go.
An official scorer decides that that one is a hit, so it is a double for Stadler. Tell you, if I was keeping book, might have been a little different. Either way. Bender misses up and in. And Jason Oliver, switch hitting freshman, going to have a mound visit. You're looking at getting out of the inning now. Instead, you have a runner in scoring position in 1 down. So that one is in there for strike 1.
Well, and how you do anything is how you do everything, and that's the kind of play you can't have as the Boilermakers wind down in this 2024 season, looking to try to win a conference championship. That's not a conference championship winning effort.
Indeed it is not, as that misses 2-1 for Pratt. They're going to continue to try to get some outs with him. That one pitched high and out of play down the right-hand side, evening the count up 2-2. Delivery home by Pratt is floated out into center field. Kornblum moves under it, and runners will not try to push it. So runners stay put, and the second out of the inning is hauled in by the Boilermakers. Just 1 out to get before heading into the bottom of the 9th. Leadoff hitter Devin Taylor getting ready as the lineup turns over. It'll be his 5th time coming to the plate today.
Went for 3 with a single and a walk. Nasty stuff there.
So that's in there for strike 1. Taylor also had the long ball yesterday. Fouls off a checked swing.
That pitch had so much break on it, it broke into the check swing.
And as a hitter, you hate to see that happen. As a pitcher, you feel pretty good about it.
Like hitting the goalpost in soccer?
I don't know. I was a goalkeeper. I was always a fan of if it didn't go in.
No, like the game they play in hockey or soccer where they hit the post. Who can hit the post?
So Pratt with the 1-2 advantage. 2 down. Stadler on second. Pitch misses up and out, and the count's even 2-2. Taylor, the Cincinnati native, awaiting that 2-2 hit on a line out to right field, and it'll drop in front of Spence. Throw coming into home. Nice long toss, and it'll keep Stadler at third, so it'll be runners on the corners with 2 down.
Nice piece of hitting there from the leadoff man, Taylor. Able to fight around an unfavorable pitch count and poke that one in. The Hoosiers aren't done here.
Now in the 10th hit of the day for the Hoosiers. And with Josh Pine stepping in. Takes a big cut and comes up empty, strike 1.
And the Hoosiers 8 hits yesterday, 10 right now today.
Misses there, check down, nothing there, 1-1. For Pine, another Indiana native on this team from Bloomfield, Indiana. A lot of overlapping recruiting grounds for these two sides, being the 2 largest state schools in the state of Indiana. Pitch misses inside, 2-1. So it's Stadler at third and Taylor over at first. Pine puts a charge into that one in the gap in right center, and it is down. That'll score 1. And Taylor will head into third, and that is an RBI double for the third baseman, Josh Pine. 3rd double in 2 days.
Yeah, and Indiana continues batting practice here in the back half of this game in innings 7, 8, and 9. As they get that 7th run, Charlie, we talked about the threshold of the Hoosiers in winning games when scoring 7 runs. They just got their 7th run, which, if the numbers tell you anything, it's an automatic win.
Backer only thrown 6 2/3 so far this year. As that one is hitting the gap between short and third, and it'll be an RBI single. Make it a 2-run single. Nice hustle on the base paths. Pays off for the Hoosiers as Pine hustles to score.
Yeah, just pokes that one into shallow left, and Pine comes flying around from second, sliding just under the tag. As the Hoosiers start to exercise their demons here in the back half of this one. Runs and hits.
So Nick Mitchell picks up the 2 RBI on that one, and that one is hit on a line to third. Stevens can't handle it, and that is a fair ball. Runner on their horse rounding for home is Mitchell, and that's going to be an RBI double as the Hoosiers go up 10-1 here in the top of the 9th.
Boilermakers, who are very familiar with making big plays in the field defensively. That last one was a testament to how the last 3 innings have gone, just missing the outstretched arm of Joe Stevens in the hot corner at third. And more runs across the board, the Hoosiers with their 10th.
Tyler Cerny picked up that double there, and vibes are low for this Purdue team. Chance of Let's Go Hoosiers breaking out in their own home field. And what is now a 9-run game. It's Brincheski at the plate. Switch hitter batting left. First time today he has batted in that left-hand batter's box. As he fouls that one off, or hits that off the end of the bat, rather, over to Gasser. Throw to first, not in time, and it's an infield single following the hustle from Brincheski. So for C.J. Backer, it has been tough sledding entering this one. Cerny at third, Brincheski at first. And Brock Tibbetts coming to the plate. Backer's delivery misses low and inside for ball 1. C.J. Backer comes set, delivery home, swing and a foul ball rather. Barely caught by Tibbetts, and the count goes 1-1. So the count is 1-1 for Tibbetts. Takes another one inside near the knees. 2-1.
Yeah, at this point in time, the Purdue Boilermakers just want to get this last out and try to get up out of here and regroup and try to figure out how they're going to come back and attack this Hoosier lineup tomorrow in Game 3.
Now, and hit off the handle, Stevens throw across the diamond in time. So the third out is finally retrieved, but 4 runs come home for the Hoosiers as they now have a 9-run advantage with 3 outs to get. Really came to play today. Ty Bothwell out on the mound, and again on a weird technicality in line for both the win and the save here, as he's been in the game for over 3 innings, as that one chops over to short. Sisney throws off the bag, and it is safe for Thomas Green. So rare error from Sisney. And one is aboard as the slew of lineup changes ensues with Breck Nowick coming to the plate.
Yeah, and before that, what a hustle play by Green. Not only getting down the line, but also recognizing where he was and getting away from that tag. So a bright spot for the Boilermakers here to start the 9th.
Breck Nowick, the redshirt junior, stands in.
Yeah, Breck was 2 for 3 yesterday with a run scored.
He was holding down first base while Gaffney finished the 3rd game of his absence, as that's fouled off 1-1.
Nowick had a little bit of an injury bug earlier on this season and is trying to work his way into the lineup. He did a really nice job, as you said, at first base for the Boilermakers over the last 3 games, and another opportunity here in the 9th.
The native of Lake Forest, Illinois, takes a called strike there, 1-2.
Yeah, I saw last Friday night when the Boilermakers played at Wrigley Field. Breck Nowick, a huge Chicago Cubs fan growing up. They posted a couple of pictures with him and his family, and it was a great moment seeing him get his first base hit at Wrigley Field, a stadium he grew up watching as a child.
So that one misses outside, and it's a 2-2. That one pitched up high. Moving underneath it is Oliver. And Oliver makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Nowick flies out to second. And Boilers with only 2 outs to go.
Definitely a guy you want coming up in this situation with one out, and Mike Bolton Jr.
Bolton Jr., the 5th year, getting ready to step in.
Bolton Jr. has accounted for 2 of the 6 Boilermaker hits this afternoon.
Both of those hits coming in his last 2 at-bats. A 1-0 count on Bolton Jr. Bothwell misses outside. Count now to 2-0. That one fouled off. And staying alive is Bolton Jr. Bolton swings and misses there. And it's 2-2. Again, Bothwell, a 6th-year senior, completing a graduate certificate program down in Bloomington. Foul back. The count is 2-2.
Well, and we knew Bothwell was slated to come into this game today, but we didn't know that he was going to come in and have this kind of outing that he's had for the Hoosiers.
And pitch longer than the starter, no less.
Yeah, this is a relief effort.
Through 4 1/3 to this point. Bolton Jr. watches strike 3, and Ty Bothwell, his second punch out of the game, puts the Hoosiers 1 out away from a victory. And that'll now bring up Cooper Kornblum, the last chance for the Boilermakers with Green aboard. Kornblum has struggled to this point today, 0 for 4. So that one is in there for strike 1. Bothwell is shoving. Pitch skips in and gets away. It's going to be a wild pitch that allows for Green to advance to second.
Nice job there by the Boilermakers staying alive here on the pass ball, and a runner in scoring position trying to get that first run on the board since the 4th, and maybe carry some of the momentum here in the bottom of the 9th into the game tomorrow.
One went around for strike 2. And the Hoosiers now 1 out away, or 1 strike away, rather. Ty Bothwell, left-hander, delivers high and outside. 2-2 now the count.
Yeah, Bothwell got a little too excited on that one. A little bit too much mustard on the hot dog.
I mean, understandable. Again, in line for the win and save. Delivery fouled back, and Cooper Kornblum refuses to go down. Staying alive. Southpaw Bothwell comes set, delivers home. Ripped up the middle, and that's going to be a base knock. Green heads home, and it's an RBI single from Cooper Kornblum. And it's a 10-2 ball game.
22nd RBI of the season for the center fielder. A nice piece of hitting after struggling at the plate today. He was able to put that one in play and give Luke Gaffney a chance.
It's been a disappointing day for Gaffney in his return. 0 for 4. Trying to see what he can cook up here. He rips that one hard over towards short. Nice backhand by Sisney. Throw across the diamond, and it beats him. What a play by Tyler Cerny to end this game. And the Hoosiers take game 2 of the series and split it up 1 apiece.